This is All India Radio. Please stand by for our next program.
This is All India Radio. You will now hear comments from the press. The Pioneer, in its editorial titled Setback for Congress, says, now that the Rafale jets have made their way to India and their indispensability has been proven to our forces, the Supreme Court was expected to dismiss a review petition against their acquisition. Politically, though, it gave the BJP, weather beaten by the latest round of assembly results, some ammunition to beat the Congress with all over again. The latter was in for some embarrassment, not because its poll plank on the questionable nature of the Rafale deal was battered electorally, but because the court warned the party's former chief, Rahul Gandhi, for justifying his Chaukidar Chor Hai jibe, citing court observations that were never made. While the court exempted him for a contempt case, the BJP used the severity of its warning to demand a national apology from the Gandhi scion for insulting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Chaukidar Chor Hai slogan wasn't just in bad taste, but gave the BJP an opportunity to crest public opinion by taking a high moral ground. It in fact turned the slogan on its head to make its most effective brand slogan of Main Bhi Chaukidar. The Congress therefore will have no maneuvering space in its self-defense now, and the BJP won't let go of a chance of cornering Rahul on this. Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad lost no time in reminding that not only did Rahul call the Prime Minister a thief, he lied about the former French Prime Minister's statements and misquoted the Supreme Court. The Financial Express, in its editorial titled Doomed Future, writes, the world over the last few years has seen devastating consequences of climate change unravel, with various reports sounding the alarm on consequences. Indeed, some warn we might have vastly underestimated them. So far, climate action couldn't have been more urgent ever. Now, a report by the Lancet on the public health impacts of rising temperatures and air pollution provides a set of equally compelling reasons. The report points to several threats, including increased incidence of infectious and vector-borne diseases like dengue, rising food insecurity, undernutrition, and more frequent extreme weather events. It notes that the size of India's population and the stark inequalities in healthcare in the country expose it to the risk of losing the public health gains of the last 2 decades. India, along with China, is expected to face an increased burden of climate change effects, the worst of which, the report emphasizes, will be borne by children being born today. A child born today, the report states, will experience a world that is more than 4 degrees warmer than the pre-industrial average, with climate change impacting human health from infancy and adolescence to adulthood and old age. Infants would be more vulnerable to malnutrition, already responsible for 2/3 of under 5 deaths, and rising food prices, with worsening air pollution and PM 2.5 already having contributed to 5,29,500 premature deaths in 2016. Future adolescents are expected to suffer damage to their hearts, lungs, and other vital organs. Extreme weather events, including exposure to wildfires, the exposure of daily population to which the report estimates to be 21 million between 2001 and 2014, is expected to severely limiting labor capacity. The writing has been on the wall for quite some time now. Greta Thunberg is right. A failure to act now will doom future generations. The Indian Express, in its editorial titled Whose Foreign Policy, says the first hearing of the impeachment inquiry being conducted by the Intelligence Committee of the U.S. House of Representatives did not go well for President Donald Trump. 2 bipartisan career diplomats, the acting U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, William Taylor, and the Deputy Assistant Secretary for European and Eurasian Affairs, George Kent, confirmed that Trump used the authority of his office to further his personal political agenda. In addition, Taylor presented new facts. A staffer from his office witnessed a phone call between Trump and the U.S. Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland, where the former inquired about the progress of Ukraine's investigation into alleged corruption by the former Vice President and Democratic presidential hopeful Joe Biden and his son, both de jure and de facto. The impeachment proceedings are political. They are carried out by the legislature and, in fact, are unlikely to lead to the president being removed from office, given that Republicans enjoy a majority in the upper house, the Senate, which has the final say. After a whistleblower revealed earlier this year that the U.S. president asked his Ukrainian counterpart.
You are listening to comments from the press. This came to you from the daily station of All India Radio.